Bring this back a little bit. Just trying to get like you now.
Right.
I want it further back.
That's right. You want it too close.
You influence me. You're a bad influence right there. So.
Get it all in your face.
Shalom, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shah Barakatul to all my brothers, Yahweh Shabbat Ilatab Bahashim, Yahweh Shah to all my sisters. This is the ISUPK straight out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under command of General Yohana. And today is the law class. And what the law does, it teaches us to love, protect, guide. It teaches us how to treat one another. You know what I'm saying? It teaches us how to deal with each other appropriately, but it also teaches us how to deal with our enemies appropriately. It also teaches us how our enemies are going to deal with us. You know what I'm saying? And that's what today's class is about. It's about the law. You know what I'm saying? And what you got to understand is that our enemies have a perpetual hatred. They have an unfervent hatred. You know what I'm saying? Unquenchable hatred for us. And who is us? Us is those black, Hispanic, and Native people. You know what I'm saying? That Commandant General Yohana stood the test of time to teach who we are according to these scriptures. You know what I'm saying? So, what I'm going to do is open up the class. What I'm about to do right now is open up the class to any questions. If you have a question, on topic, off topic, whatever it may be, if you have a question, don't be ashamed, don't be shy, just ask it. I'll give you a few minutes to ask some questions as I share this class, put in the sign-in sheets and all the other good stuff that comes with this job. You know what I'm saying? Oops, wrong button. Slocky on that, y'all. But don't forget to ask your questions. Type them right on in. You know what I'm saying? Type them right on in. And don't forget to subscribe to ISUBK. Well, just put Boston No Cowards, one word in the YouTube. Follow us on YouTube, man. You know what I'm saying? Get that YouTube premium, man, where you can listen to us with the phone off. You can handle your business. You know what I'm saying? Have that joint playing through your earphones.
That's what I do.
Exactly, me too. Don't forget to subscribe. Matter of fact, I'm going to put the link to the, what's the name? Here's the link to our YouTube page too, man. So sign in, especially if you want to be a trooper in the school. You got to keep that attendance up. But sign in just to make your presence known. You know what I'm saying? Sign in just to make your presence known. What motivates you to be an Israelite? Tanil Splunge, what motivates me to be an Israelite? The simple fact is I was born and raised to do this. Being an Israelite is not a choice. Being an Israelite is a bloodline. You know what I'm saying? It is literally our genetics. It is our nation. It's our nationality. If you remember in history, our enemies took that away from us. They took our culture. They took our language. They took our names. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm doing right now is learning and bringing all that stuff back to my own remembrance and giving it back to you. You know what I'm saying? And if that's what you mean is by being an Israelite, but if you mean what motivates me to be a priest, I want rulership. That's what motivates me to be a priest. I want justice for my people. Matter of fact, Sir Salaki, can you get Romans 9 and 13 for me, Baba Kushal? This is the bottom line of my motivation. My motivation stems on this scripture right here. You know what I'm saying? And there's plenty of scriptures like this. You know what I'm saying? There's plenty of scriptures like this scripture. But it motivates a lot of us. It motivates a lot of us. Salaki, sir, if you got that.
Romans chapter 9, verse 13. As it is written.
As it is written, that means this is not nothing new. It's been written back in the Old Testament. This is a known fact. This is the way that it should be known, period. Just know this. You know what I'm saying? As it is written. Continue.
Jacob have I loved.
Jacob had the Most High love. Remember, the Most High said this back in Malachi, was that 1 and 2? 1 and 3? It was in the book of Malachi. He said, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. May you continue?
But Esau have I hated.
But Esau have I hated. See, the Most High's love is what motivates me. The Most High's love is what keeps me going. You know how I know? I hate to sound Christian about it, but I'm supposed to be dead right now. We are supposed to be dead. But the Most High's love is what's keeping me going. And the fact, matter of fact, you got to know what love is. Love is these law, statutes, and commandments. The Most High gave me these law, statutes, and commandments, so I know that He loves me. And Him giving it to me, I got to give it to you. That's how you know that I love you. I don't want you getting killed and having the Most High turned against you. You know what I'm saying? The Most High turned against you is not a good thing. But the Most High loved Jacob. And the fact that He loved Jacob, He made us holy. He made our people special unto Him. That's what motivates me to be an Israelite. Our relationship with the Most High. Nobody else got this relationship. Nobody has these law, statutes, and commandments. Problem is, we are forsaking that relationship. We are forsaking our power. You know what I'm saying? And you want to hear something else that motivates me? Let's stay in Revelations. Let's get, hold on, what did you just read? That was Romans, right?
Romans 9 and 13.
Let's give Revelations, flip it, 13 and 9. I think it's 13 and 9, right? Those have an ear.
Revelation 13, verse 9. Any man have an ear, let him hear.
This is what also motivates me. It's not just that the Most High loved us, but He loved us to this point. He loved us to this point. Continue, sir.
He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. You shouldn't be complacent with Him being equal. You shouldn't want equality. You should want the same thing that happened to us to happen to Him. That's justice. Remember, the Most High loves us, not them. That's justice. Continue, Baba Kushal, sir.
He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword.
Him that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Ain't saying I'm doing it. The Most High vengeance is His own. And when the Most High quenches His thirst for His vengeance, nothing's going to stop that. Who am I? I ain't going to steal that glory from the Most High, nah. So I ain't telling no black, Hispanic, or Native man to go out there and do any killing, no. That vengeance is of the Most High. Know how we know? Continue.
There is the patience and the faith of the saints.
That is the patience and the faith of the saints. Knowing that this is going to happen. Knowing that the Most High is going to put them in chains for us. Knowing that the Most High is going to slaughter them for us. So we sit back patient. We don't gotta pick up no gun and shoot them. You know what I'm saying? We don't gotta go stabbing them. We don't gotta go raping them. No, that's not our job. You see what the Most High doing? The Most High got them destroying themselves. These school shootings, these mass shootings, these terrorist attacks. You know what I'm saying? These diseases like the Wuhan and all that, man. The Most High is dealing with them. Don't forget about these natural disasters, these planes falling out of nowhere. The Most High is dealing with them. But due to the Most High loving us, and we got to show you that love back, we got to tell you to stop loving them and get away from them. Because we don't want you in the crossfire with the Most High dealing with them. You know what I'm saying? If you understand that type sister type con, oh, okay. She knows some Hebrew, Most High in Christ. But, Salak, yes, sir. Actually, I'm going to start this class off with a video real quick. You know what I'm saying? This video, the videos are actually a few days old, but the news put it out last night. It's a disgusting video. I'm going to show you a news coverage. You know what I'm saying? It is a vile display of what goes on in the streets of Boston. Vile display. The traditions of Boston continue. You know what I'm saying? Boston being such a racist city is alive and well. Nothing changed. No matter what the mayor says, no matter what the governor says, this is still the most racist city in the country. So watch this video.
An assault caught on camera in the middle of an East Boston street, and the alleged victim says she was attacked for speaking Spanish. The incident happened on February 15th as the woman and her teenage daughter.
Turn it towards you.
Yeah, it's not going to mess with you.
Boston 25 News report. And local civil rights groups who say this was a hate crime.
Salaki, bear with us. I can't see nothing.
And they want a swifter response. From authorities.
Residents and community activists say this is just part of a growing trend of hate incidents that they're seeing here in East Boston. It was the day after Valentine's Day, and Mrs. Vasquez was walking home from the train, talking in Spanish with her friend and her 15-year-old daughter after a birthday dinner in Boston.
El sábado en la noche.
My daughter and some friends and I were all having dinner, and we were walking back. Then we just heard some yelling.
Vasquez says this woman and a friend, both identified as white, across the street at the Maverick Square intersection. The incident caught on camera in the area.
Esto es América.
And then they said, "Speak English. This is America.
Aquí no se habla español.
We don't speak Spanish here."
Mrs. Vasquez spoke with us not to use any.
Now,
How many people attacked?
they're saying two. It was a couple.
It was a couple.
It was a couple. But here's what you got to understand. You know what I'm saying? I'll get back. I'm going to continue with this because it actually gets worse. You know what I'm saying? But here's what you got to understand. You know what I'm saying? They come to these Hispanic sisters talking about, you know what I'm saying? You gotta stop speaking Spanish, only speak English here. This is America, blah, blah. Here's a question. How did they learn Spanish? Spanish ain't their language. They're Hispanic. They're Latinas. But even those titles are forced upon them. How does any black man, West Indian man, know English? How does any Creole man know French? I mean, how many? Oh yeah, they call Creole too.
Yeah.
How many Creoles in Brazil Why do they know Portuguese? Why do we speak the language that we speak? Isn't our fault. It isn't something that we choose to do. These brothers and sisters lost their language due to slavery and oppression. They ain't speaking Spanish because it's their choice. They're speaking Spanish just like I'm speaking English. Just like a Haitian brother would speak French. Just like a Brazilian brother would speak Portuguese. It's not our language. Our language was stripped from us. And it shows you how perverse of a people they are. These are their languages. And I'm saying their languages because those people are the same people. They are the same race of people. French, Spaniards, Portuguese, Italians, Irish, Germans, they're all the same nation. Every last one of them, the same group of people. So if you speak in any one of those languages, it was forced upon us. But you want to complain to them because they're speaking a different language than you. That was forced upon them. That's a language that's a part of your people's language. See, as a white person, you should be proud. You should be proud for every Hispanic person that speaks Spanish. You should be proud for every black person that speaks English. Every Haitian that speaks French, every Brazilian that speaks Portuguese. You should be proud. Because you murdered millions of us for us to learn that language. And now you want to attack and murder more for us not to speak certain languages.
If I may add something.
Count out on one count.
America was named after an Italian explorer by the name of Amerigo Vespucci, right?
Mm-hmm.
What language did he speak?
Amerigo Vespucci speak, I believe, Italian and French.
He didn't speak English.
Not at all.
Right? Christopher Columbus, what language did he speak?
Spanish.
So now the same people that will tell you you should not speak, you should be speaking English, this is America, but we'll celebrate Columbus Day. You know what I mean? Who spoke Spanish.
Right, and say they're proud, and say that they are a proud American, which is from a Italian explorer, which was funded by Spain.
So all the so-called founders of America did not speak English.
Exactly. Exactly. But you want to harass and assault God, the Most High's chosen people, because you have a certain hatred for those people. Salaki, sir, if you may, Baba Kushar, can you get Ezekiel 35 and 5?
Identifying information fearful of her safety.
They were kicked, they were punched, the clothes.
Yeah, Ezekiel 35 and 5, if I may, Baba Kushar, sir.
I got it. Ezekiel 35 verse 5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred.
Because you had a what?
A perpetual hatred.
A perpetual hatred. Let me explain something to you. The word perpetual, I got up on the screen right now, y'all can see it. Let's get into the definition of the word perpetual. And that word Perpetual, definition of perpetual, continuing, everlasting, forever, valid for all time, holding something such as an office for life or for an unlimited time, occurring continually, indefinitely, long continued, blooming continuously throughout the seasons. You know what I'm saying? That's what the word perpetual means. They have a long-lasting hatred. And you can get even deeper with it, like the word perpetual, like perpetual motion. Once it starts going, it's going on its own. It's able to feed off its own energy and reproduce it. They're able to reproduce that hatred off their own energy. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to stop. No matter how much you vote, no matter how much you march, no matter how much you pray, nothing's going to stop their perpetual hatred for us. That's why they could go and attack 2 women just because they're speaking Spanish, a language forced upon them. A language forced upon them. They have literally a perpetual hatred for us. You know what I'm saying? If you may, Baba Kushar, may you continue?
And has shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword.
That's why they attacked them. Believe me, understand this. When our enemies attack us, when our oppressors attack us, believe me, their intent is not to harm us. Their intent is to kill us. When they attack us, their intent is to kill and shed blood. Because they got other ways to harm us. But when they heard those sisters talking Spanish on the streets, if they had a gun, they would have shot them. If they had a knife, they would have stabbed them. All because of Spanish. And because of their ignorance, they don't know that Spanish is their language too. They have inherited lies from their fathers. They actually think English is better than Spanish when that's both your daddy's languages. That's your daddy's language, both of them. You're inheriting lies. And they are quick to shed our blood. No different from it was in the 50s, no different from it was from the 1800s, 1600s, 1500s, 1400s. No different than it was back then. All the way back to when Esau and Jacob had their beef, fighting in the womb. Believe me, Esau was trying to kill Jacob even in the womb. When they attack, they have intent to kill, to shed that blood, because they have a perpetual hatred. You know what I'm saying? May you continue, Baba Kushar, sir?
By the force of the sword in the time of their calamity.
Those sisters are in a time of their calamity right now. They don't have their own language. If they can't speak Spanish and they don't know English, what are they to speak? They don't have their own language. What were they speaking before Christopher Columbus came in here? Can they get that tongue back?
Salaki, if I may say something?
Concept.
You know what this whole matter translates to? It's the same perpetual hatred that they got towards Mexicans. You know, it translates to basically saying, go back to your country.
Come.
Or go back to Africa.
Come.
Which, when you're dealing with...
That equates.
It's the same translation. And what throws me off a little bit doesn't really throw me off, but what I don't understand is who is America? You know what I mean? Like, it's the whole "Make America Great Again" translation.
That's MAGA attitude.
That's what it is.
Come.
And that's the spirit that's out in this place right now. You know what I mean? That's what's being pushed. They're trying to snuff the spirit of Christ out, and they're trying to push this the spirit of white supremacy.
And what you're bringing out is so heavy. For those who don't think blacks and Hispanics are the same people, those who think that Hispanics have not gone through the same thing we have, like those retarded ADOS people, look at that. Go back to Africa when Africa's not our homeland. What are we going back to? Is equated to speak English in America. Because guess what? Spanish ain't their language, nor is English. It's the same thing. They want us to obtain something by rejecting something when neither it belongs to us. They want us to reject America and accept Africa when neither it belongs to us. They want them to accept English and reject Spanish when neither it belongs to them. We are going through the same thing. We are two sides of one broken stick. And that's why the scriptures in Zephaniah says, gather yourselves together, O nation not desired. We both are not desired. We both are going through the same hell by the same enemies. You know what I'm saying? But Salak, can you finish that Ezekiel 35:5 about what y'all said?
In the time that their iniquity had an end.
Things about to come to an end. Things about to come to an end. Things are coming to a head. When a time of our calamity and a time where our iniquity is coming to an end, when we're trying to do better, they want to kick us, they want to destroy us. Those sisters were doing nothing but coming back from a dinner from downtown, speaking Spanish. And they wanted to get attacked then. You know why?
You know what that is? Salakia, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but you know what this last verse reminds me of? Where it says, in the time that their iniquity had an end. It's like that brother that's about to get out in a couple months.
Oh, man.
And they know he's about to get out.
Mm-hmm.
And they're trying their best to make sure he stays in there.
Right. Secret rays on his bunk.
That's
you know what I'm saying? They slide it in a shiv right underneath his sheet.
With him, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
That's exactly what that is.
Come.
We're coming to a time where our forefathers did the crime and we're finishing our sentence.
Come.
That's the time we're coming to. And now more than ever, as we're coming out of this, ready to come out of our calamity and the end of our iniquity, the devil is going, our oppressor is going harder than ever because he knows he has but a little bit of time.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say that too. He knows he has nothing but a little bit of time, so he's going to double up on his oppression. There was no reason for that. You know what I'm saying? They just violent, disgusting people. You know what I'm saying? But Salakia, I'm gonna I know I pressed X on that. I'm gonna go back to the video, continue it a little further.
Fist, hair pulled. The mother was bitten on her thumb.
According to the police report, officers did respond to a radio call for an assault and battery. After interviewing both parties and witnesses on the street, they let the white couple go. Officers wrote, quote, "It should be noted that blank and blank admitted."
They let them go.
Who let them go?
The police let them go.
The attackers?
The attackers. They let the attackers go.
Can you bring up the screen?
Oh, You want me to wind it back a bit too?
A little bit.
That they had been drinking and acting belligerent.
It's so clear from this police report that this is a hate crime, and yet the police were so slow to act.
I reached. This is an act of.
The closed fist, hair pulled, The mother was bitten on her thumb.
According to the police report, officers did respond to a radio call for an assault and battery. After interviewing both parties and witnesses on the street, they let the white couple go. He noted that blank and blank admitted that they had been drinking and acting belligerent.
It's so clear from this police report that this is a hate crime, and yet to act.
I reached out to the Boston Police Department, and they say this is an active investigation and are not required to provide any additional information. Central Presente's Patricia Montez tells me gentrification.
Now I'm going to end that right there, but let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. All oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. Salaki, sir, can you get Zechariah 11 and 5?
Most definitely.
Not only did the police recognize this as a hate crime, but they also noticed a misdemeanor of this couple being publicly intoxicated. You know what I'm saying? Walking around being belligerent. You know what I'm saying?
So like, which is common.
Which is common in Boston. Yeah, especially in Boston, it's common. These Irishmen get into a bar, they get drunk out of their mind. And these women are worse. The Irish women are worse. But they go in here, they get drunk, and now they want to oppress and attack two princesses of Israel. Because they're not speaking the language that you expect them to speak in this hell that we're in. This is not our heaven. Forget what the Christian church is teaching you. This is not our heaven. They get attacked and they get let, and the attackers were let go. You know why? If you got that Bible, Krishan, sir.
10 and 5?
Zechariah, not Zechariah. Zechariah 11 and 5.
11 and 5. Okay. Whose possessors slay them.
Remember, like I was saying earlier, our possessors, our oppressors, our enemies, they slay us. They attack those women with the intent to slay them. They attack those women, like the report was saying, with closed fists, slaps, spitting and biting. When anybody bites you, they have the intent to kill you.
Khan, if I can add something, right?
Khan.
I think I was telling you this last time that, when someone bites you, right, the mouth is full of so much bacteria that it literally can infect your, the place that's been bitten, to the point where your limbs, it could cause your limbs to get cut off if not treated, immediately.
And the things that our enemies eat, our oppressors eat, the things they eat, who knows what was still left in their mouth, just incubating in their mouth as they bite you. You know what I'm saying? Now you got those germs and bacteria in your bloodstream because they want to bite you. That is an attempt to slay. It is an obvious hate crime. But don't worry, it will get swept under the rug. People will forget about it. That couple will walk. At the most, they might get, what they call it, when you work for the community service. That's probably the most they'll get. They ain't even getting probation. They're getting community service. There's a report here for a few hours, chill out, relax, play some games on your phone. We'll sign the paper for you. Have a good day. That's what they're going to get for attacking two women because they were speaking Spanish. It's a common occurrence in Boston. This is nothing new. You think Eastie bad, go to Southie. There's certain parts in Southie, if you ain't speaking Irish, You know what I'm saying? They don't even want you speaking English. You got to be speaking Irish. You know what I'm saying? There's certain parts of Boston that still has this racist mentality, and it's thick, and it's growing and spreading.
It's old wounds that haven't been stitched.
Old wounds that haven't been stitched. Wounds from the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. Wounds that have not been stitched. I'm talking about they were having race riots in the late 80s over school buses. Over school buses. When other cities and states were doing that in the 60s. We're 20 years behind when it comes to racial equality, which us in the UPK know don't exist. You're a fool if you're fighting for racial equality. Who fights to tie? Who fights to tie? And our oppressor is the champion right now. What champion shares his belt? What champion shares his title? We're the challenger. We got to fight for superiority, aka to win. And the only way we could do that is in the ISUPK under these law, statutes, commandments of the Most High, taught to us by Commanding General Yohana. Any other way, you're just looking for equality, and you're going to be submissive and subservient and still getting beat across your head because your nails ain't done to the way you like it, or you're going to get beat across your head because you're speaking Spanish, or you're going to get beat across your head because you're kneeling during the national anthem. Like, come on. If you don't understand how this is hell, I don't understand how you don't. But Salaki, sir, may you continue that?
And hold themselves not guilty.
And hold themselves not guilty. That's why they let them go. That's why those cops let them walk. They hold themselves not guilty. They let them walk on by like nothing is wrong. Let me tell you something. I know the laziness. In my job, I understand and I know from firsthand experience the laziness of Boston police.
Oh, yeah.
Utter laziness. You think they got those couples' names? You think they got their address?
Nah.
No, they didn't. That's why this is going to get swept under the rug.
She looks like my niece.
Exactly.
That's
They ain't took no information from that. All they did was break up the fight and told both parties to go both ways. They didn't even want to do a report, but they had to. So they did a half-ass report. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure there's information in that report that they need to go forward with this case, but it's not there. It's a joke. They hold themselves not guilty. You know why? Because you're supposed to be a punching bag. That's your purpose in this country. You're not considered a man. You're not considered a man. If us as African Americans are still considered 3/5 of man, and we are like the biggest cheerleaders for our oppressors, you know what I'm saying? We're considered 3/5 of men. Then what is our Hispanic brothers considered? 2/5? What are they considered? If us, the greatest slaves that they could possibly possess, are 3/5, what are those who put up a little resistance? What are they considered? A very little resistance too. See, our oppressor just has a perpetual hatred. They're going to perform those acts on those hatred and hold themselves not guilty. Their hatred is fed off their own anger and lust and desires and whatever else, so forth and so on. That's why your daughters can't join the Girl Scouts and make them nasty Girl Scout cookie, because the simple fact is, you know that the perpetual hatred in there is going to have your little girl molested and raped. But guess what? You still bring her to a Christian church. Their perpetual hatred is out to destroy us. And there's no voting that's going to stop that. No voting that's going to help that. Period. Salaki, I slid off the chat. Let me see. We got some things on the chat. It is sad. For one of whom Islam has made look at the Bible in a different light. Are the other books that a person hungry to grow as a new Israelite can start from? Salakia, sister Tanil, let me tell you something. You're not a new Israelite. You're just coming to the knowledge of knowing that you're an Israelite. And when it comes to those books, let me tell you, I could tell you every book that we read. It don't matter. You got to get and stay in these classes. You got to stay in these classes. I could tell you about the Apocrypha. I could tell you about $40 Million Slave. You know what I'm saying? I could tell you about all these other books that we read. The Josephus and all that. I could tell you about all that. But if you ain't here learning it, and if you go off reading on your own, you're going to end up crazy. You're going to end up worse than you were. I know brothers that got lost their mind just off of thinking that they knew everything, reading Revelations. Thinking that they know everything. They ain't asked no questions or nothing. And they lost their mind. So I could tell you every book. But the thing I'm going to tell you, the best advice I could give you is to stay in these classes. The ISUPK has classes every day. We have radio shows where you are allowed to ask questions at radio shows. These ain't even classes. These are radio shows. You know what I'm saying? You got brothers where you can seek counsel with. You got any question while you walking down the street, you can just pick up the phone, call the brother, ask him the question, and you will get it answered. This ain't the Christian church where if you ask a question, you're going to be snubbed and frowned upon. Okay. Now, we're going to get to your questions. You know what I'm saying? We're definitely going to get to your questions, but I ain't even going to tell you any other book. Just stay in these classes and you'll hear books. We mention other books all the time. We mention history books. We mention a lot of books. Then as you hear them, pick them up. Because the Most High is allowing you to hear them because you might be ready for it at that time. You know what I'm saying? But, Salakia. Let's, may you continue with that Bible Kashal, sir?
And they that and they that, what's that word say?
Seldom say.
Oh, seldom?
Seldom say.
Oh, and they that seldom say, blessed be the Lord.
Now check it out. Who sold us? I know there's a couple people in the class. Who sold us? I'm going to give y'all a couple seconds to think of it. I know y'all might be too shy to answer. But who sold us? Well, let me tell you who sold us. Of course, you know our enemy, our oppressor, the so-called Caucasian man sold us. But the Hamites, aka the Africans, did. The Arabs, Asians. Every nation had a hand in our destruction. Just like they have a hand in it now. You know what I'm saying? And they are saying, blessed be the Lord. They are gloating. What's that called? Manifest destiny? This is that manifest destiny. And if you read any history book, you know that a lot of those Puritans that came and colonized America, that was their big thing. Manifest destiny. The Lord gave us this. Blessed be the Lord. For us to kill all these Native American brothers and sisters and kill all these so-called Negroes and have them slave and build this country for us. They believe that was manifest destiny. So they say, blessed be the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Just like they say, blessed be the Lord when they are committing hate crimes and the police let them go. Blessed be the Lord when you as a black or Hispanic man goes in the voting booth. You know what I'm saying? Blessed be the Lord every time y'all stepped in a church. They are gloating. You know what I'm saying? Salakia. May you continue, Baba Kashar, sir?
Crying rich, and their own shepherds pity them not.
For they are rich. And who are our shepherds that don't pity us? Who are these shepherds? Who are those shepherds that don't pity us at all? You know what I'm saying? Put it like this.
Should I get a list?
In the video, you seen one, what is Ocasio? I think she's like a city councilor woman, right? She's a Hispanic city councilor woman, and the only reason why she is making attention of this is because voting's coming up for her soon. It's almost time to vote again.
Should I go through the list?
Go through the list, Baba Kashar. Go right ahead, sir. Who are our shepherds?
Martin Luther King.
Martin Luther King don't pity you.
T.D. Jakes.
T.D. Jakes does not pity you.
Jesse Jackson.
Jesse Jackson, he's our shepherd. He does not pity you.
Al Sharpton.
Al Sharpton is our shepherd. He does not pity you.
So many.
Let me continue. Cardi B, she don't pity you. Beyonce, Jay-Z, don't pity you. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that you look up to as a leader, your Farrakhan's, you know what I'm saying? Your Boyce Watkins, you know what I'm saying? Your Talbert Swans, they don't pity you. They are feeding you to our enemies, making a good buck doing it too. Making a good buck doing it. Why do you think they're able to afford those suits? You know what I'm saying? Why do you think they're so fresh out here, driving these cars? I ain't gonna lie. It ain't because of your ties. Your ties help. Your ties help it. But your ties ain't able to feed that lavish lifestyle. Your grandma putting $2-3 in. You probably putting in $1. It's because the government's paying them for them to destroy you and feed you to them. You know what I'm saying? But Salakia, let's drop that. I should go further. Nah. Let's drop that. Let's get on. Nah. Let me twist it up again a bit. Let's go to the Apocrypha. Oh, I see some of those answers came in. I got the Africans, they are Hamites. Wow. Yep. But Salakia, sir, can you get Baruch 4:15? I'm about to ask y'all for a precept. So as I say this scripture, as this brother reads this scripture, I need y'all to come with a corresponding precept for it.
Baruch chapter 4, verse 15. For he had brought a nation upon them from far.
The Most High has brought a nation upon us from afar. You know what I'm saying? These brothers that are speaking Spanish now, they were chilling over here, you know what I'm saying? Making some tamales or whatever else they were making. They were eating good. They were living good. They were at peace. They wasn't following the laws fully, but no enemy was attacking them at the time. They probably had inner turmoil amongst themselves, but they had a system to solve those turmoils. You know what I'm saying? May you continue, sir. 4 and 15.
For he had brought the nation from them from far, a shameless nation.
A what?
A shameless nation.
Let me tell you something. Our oppressor is shameless. He can get drunk and belligerent and attack you and have no worries in the world. That's why he's shameless. You have people like Epstein who could rape little girls for the majority for years and decades. You know what I'm saying? And was shameless. You have a current president right now who would say, grab him by the box. Shameless. This is that nation that the Most High brought from afar. Continue.
And of a strange language.
And of a what?
And of a strange language.
A familiar language.
Strange language.
A common language?
Strange language.
Let me tell you something. That language that those sisters got attacked for was a strange language to them. They were forced to learn Spanish. Spanish is not their language. Spanish was taught to them by their oppressor. You know what I'm saying? English is a strange language. It's not our language. It was forced upon us and taught to us by our oppressor. You know what I'm saying? Continue, Baba Kushal, sir.
Who neither reverenced old men nor pitied child.
That's why they attacked the mother and the daughter. They didn't care about the mother who was old. They bit the mother's finger. They didn't care about the daughter. They were beating the daughter across the head. They didn't care about the old or the young. They are a shameless nation. They have no shame. They are going through balls out. They are going hard to destroy us. You know what I'm saying? But Salaki, understand this. They hate us. Why do you love them? Ask yourself this. Why do you love them? Because I'm gonna try to get 2 more scriptures real quick. Bear with me 1 sec. So can you get Ecclesiasticus 12 and 10, Baba Kushal, sir?
Ecclesiasticus.
Count out of 1 count.
Ecclesiasticus. Ecclesiasticus 12, verse 10. Never trust thine enemy.
Never what?
Never trust thine enemy.
When you see a black and Hispanic woman, when you see a white man, our enemy, our oppressor across the street, hold your purse and go to the other side. Don't trust him. When you're in your car and you see them walking by on the sidewalk, lock your doors. Don't trust them. Those sisters were walking freely and they got comfortable enough with our enemies to even give them a chance to walk up and attack them. No, don't trust them at all.
And if I may, right? As you know, East Boston has gone through, you know, major gentrification. East Boston, I want to say 15, 20 years back, that would have never occurred. Where it was predominantly Hispanics. Now that it's being gentrified, is why you're seeing these sort of crimes, which is why, you know, which is why I was telling you earlier that landlords also need to understand to separate and to maintain that neighborhood. You know, it's really up to them as to whether they want to fall for the whoop-de-wop when our so-called oppressor comes into the neighborhood and starts buying all the real estate. You know what I mean?
Hold on, Salakia. Maya Call. Your question I do not understand. It says, why us, why not them? Can you clarify for me? Continue, Bob Kushal, sir?
No, that's what I was saying. Like, you know, it only occurs, this only occurs because of traders like Martin Luther King. And it was his whole dream. It was basically just giving up our neighborhoods and our businesses, which is why situations like that can happen now, where sisters are getting attacked in a place that used to be predominantly Hispanic. Now, you keep in mind, if there was other Hispanic brothers and sisters around, and it was congested like it used to be,
it would have been a safe zone.
They wouldn't even thought. They would have kept walking.
They would have went to South Boston or something like that. But or the north side. But you are absolutely right. And what you're bringing out is so heavy, right? You are voting, because voting's coming up again. You voted for those sisters to get attacked. Martin Luther King's march and speech was for them to get attacked because they speak in a different language. That's what this integration and gentrification is about. Remember, you giving them the power with it. Keep on telling y'all there's no such thing as equality. You know what I'm saying? But Salakia. Any more on that, Baba Kushal, sir?
For like as iron rusteth.
For as iron rusteth. Iron is for sure gonna rust. It is guaranteed to rust. You know what I'm saying? No matter how dry you like to think the air is, no matter how moist you think the air is, iron is guaranteed to rust and fade away. Continue, Bob Kushal, sir.
So is his wickedness.
So is his wickedness. So is his wickedness. So let me see the sister's question. You stated we were sold into slavery, then stated everyone had a hand in selling us. My question is, why us? Why not them as well be sold? Salakia, we were sold because the Most High had to deal with us. We were sold because the Most High loved us, sis. We were sold because it was a prophecy in Deuteronomy 28, verse 68. Why would they sell their own people? Why would they do that? Matter of fact, can you get, what's the prayer?
83?
They were confederate against us?
Psalms 83?
Yeah, kind of, I don't want to count. What you got to understand, sis, that we sinned against the Most High. So we have to pay for that. So the Most High allowed them to join together as a world and turn against us. You know what I'm saying? But Salakia, if you got that Bible, show us, sir.
Psalms chapter 83, verse 1. Keep not thy silence.
Keep not thy silence, man. Speak up, speak up. Continue, sir.
O power.
O power. Continue.
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy peace. Continue, sir.
And be not still, O power.
And be not still, power. Can you drop down to the Confederate against us?
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
They have what?
Taken crafty counsel against thy people.
Understand this. This oppression that we are going through and that we've been through is not of coincidence. This is a well thought out plan. They have taken crafty counsel against us. Who are they? They are all those other heathens. You know what I'm saying? That crafty counsel is every nation other than Black, Hispanic, and Native people. You know what I'm saying? And you want to see what happens to that council? You read Obadiah. Obadiah tells you the end result of this council. But may you continue, Baba Kushal, sir?
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
They had consulted against thy hidden ones. Who is the Most High's hidden ones? Those are us Black, Hispanic, and Native people. That's why they're not selling their own. That's why they're not selling anybody else. That's why they're not. It's all about us. Because we broke those law, statute, commandments, we got to deal with this punishment. That's how you know the Most High loves us, because they break the law, statute, commandments. They're not going through what we went through. They don't have to worry about the gout, diseases, and all that other stuff. They don't have to do that. See, what you got to understand, these curses that we're going through are a sign and a wonder. That's how we know who we are. If it wasn't for those signs and those wonders, we would not know. But them, being who they are, they just got a perpetual hatred. They are taking things too far. Most High tell them to strip us of our identity, our language, our culture, and all that. But they did that. They did that. Most High knew they were going to do that. He didn't want them to. But may you continue, Baba Kashasa?
They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation.
Do what?
And let us cut them off from being a nation.
So all these nations had joined together, had a crafty council, just to cut us off from being a nation, to snatch away our identity, our language. You know what I'm saying? And force their culture and identity upon us. They wasn't going to force their identity and culture on their own. There's no power in oppressing your own people. But there is a power oppressing your other people, other nations. You know what I'm saying? Especially the weaker nation. You know what I'm saying? We don't have no stance in this world, so oppressing us is easy. Let the white man oppress an African right now. Africa's going to blow up. The white people that's in South Africa are going to die even quicker. Let them oppress an Asian. See what happened with that Asian cop? He went to court with blackface on, talking about you're treating me like a black man. They ain't gonna oppress each other. Even as other nations, they ain't gonna oppress each other. They're gonna fight, they're gonna war, but the oppression is not gonna happen. The oppression definitely ain't gonna happen. It might be systematic. Even the terrorization is not oppression. You know what I'm saying? The Arab going into a train station blowing up is not oppression to them. It's terrorism. It's a hate crime. But for us, we're being terrorized. Know why? Because we have no defenses. We have no way to fight back. They do. You know what I'm saying? So if you got, oh yeah, she already put comments there. Do we have sovereign rights as Israelites? Slocky, sis. We're not Moors. I believe that's it, sis. I don't know. Tanel Splunge. Might be. I don't know. But we are not Moors. Our rights are in this Bible. We don't have no sovereign rights. Even the Moors don't even have sovereign rights. That's why they get beat across the head and thrown in jail every day. You know what I'm saying? But Salaki, like the Moors, nah, definitely not like that. Can you get Psalms 139 and 22? I want to end it with that. Psalms 139 and 22. We have no sovereign rights. The only sovereign right we have is to follow these laws, statutes, and commandments. That's the sovereign right we have. Other sovereign right we have is to separate from our oppressors. Stay far away from them. We don't have to be next and all around them, smiling, going out to dinner, movies, and all that. Go to a movie with a white person. Next thing you know, that movie theater's getting shot up. But Salaki, so you got that?
Psalms 139, verse 22. I hate them with perfect hatred.
I hate them with perfect hatred. That's how you're supposed to be viewing your enemies. You got to hate them with a perfect hatred. And what makes anything perfect? They have a perpetual hatred. We have a perfect hatred. What makes anything perfect? For the sake of time, I only got 2 minutes. Let me tell you something. The law is what makes anything perfect. Without the law, there's no perfection. Only way you can become perfect is by keeping the law. If you are keeping the law, even with your hatred, it's a perfect hatred. Our law says we can't attack our enemies. We can't go shooting up white people. It says do not abhor an Edomite. That's what our law says. That's a perfect hatred. Our law says we cannot be having sex with heathens. Interracial marriage and sex is unlawful. That is a perfect hatred. You know why? You would keep them nasty, ugly creatures far from you. We're not like them. They have a perpetual hatred where they will rape, molest, try to destroy, kill, do anything and everything to us. That's a perpetual hatred. Ours is perfect. We want separation. We don't want to be nowhere near them. You know what I'm saying? That's a perfect hatred by hating with the law in mind. May you continue, sir?
I count them mine enemies.
Know why King David counted them his enemies? Because they were enemies to the Lord. So the enemies of the Lord are all our enemies too. And our enemies are enemies of the Lord. That's why he chose us as a special people. You know what I'm saying? That's why we are a special people unto him. Hold on. Salakia, due to the sake of time, I'm going to end the class, but to answer your last question, what and where do I begin with precepts? It's precept upon precept, line upon line. That's what you do with these classes. I usually type these precepts into the class. Well, I was a little bit on it, so just rewatch the class, write down the scriptures. That's a precept. Each scripture is a precept. The class is a topic, so each scripture is going to have a precept. Is a precept. So there's multiple precepts, multiple scriptures in a class. So that's how a topic has precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little. But with that, remember we got the Passover coming up, April 9th, Westchester County, New York. We're going to be getting it in. Y'all better come on through. You know what I'm saying? $100 per individual. For any person that's 17 and under, gets in free. You know what I'm saying? And we got the slaughtering of the lambs coming up, in like 3 more weeks? You know what I'm saying? Where we get to slaughter the lamb for the Passover. And, you know what I'm saying? And we got the Feast of Purim happening, not this Saturday, but next Saturday, right? The 7th?
Yeah, next Saturday.
Next Saturday, not this coming Saturday, but the Saturday after that. For more information, contact Officer Isaiah, you know what I'm saying? Or hit up ISUPK Boston. I'll get you in contact with Officer Isaiah. And with that, shalom.
Shalom.